This is the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Yes, Google's first pro-level flagship device since the birth of the first Google Pixel in 2016. And my oh my, have they come a long way to get here in what feels like the beginning of a new chapter for Google Pixel. From the new Google Tensor chip powering the 6 Pro and the new camera hardware that we're getting since the Google Pixel 2. What's it like after spending 48 hours with the Google Pixel 6 Pro? Well, let me try and answer that question with what is my first impressions of the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Let's go. Hi, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you're new to the channel or you find yourself here for the first time or you've been here before and you like videos like this, then be sure to like, subscribe and turn the notifications so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel, because boy, I've got a lot to do when it comes to the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Let's get a few disclaimers out of the way. This video is an impressions video and not a review, because at the time of this recording, I've had the Google Pixel 6 Pro for exactly about 2 days. So definitely I need more time testing it because there is a lot to get through and test. On top of that, at this time, I'm only allowed to show you the phone itself, give you a first look, give you as much technical specs as possible, and show you the home screen. Everything will come in a full review, so stick it out. My experience review, it's all gonna be there. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. As always, let's start from the outside and work our way in with the design and the overall build quality of the Pixel 6 Pro. And with my initial impression so far, it's a solid and very nice device. This is the largest Pixel phone made, coming in with a 6.7-inch display and frame. Top materials are being used with Corning Gorilla Glass Victors at the front and back, plus a solid polished metal frame as well. It weighs around 210 grams and it feels well balanced. Now, there are some things to consider with the overall finish of the device, especially when using it without a case. Again, the statement, without a case, because that's very important. Firstly, the front display of the 6 Pro is curved on the left and the right. And I much prefer a flat display myself, not gonna lie, but using it so far, it's been okay because the curve is managed well. And where I've been using it so far, I've not suffered any accidental touches yet. So I guess no issues so far, touch wood. Next is the button placement. This part is something that means a lot to me, so I'm gonna break it down. And this is what I'm just not used to when it comes to the Pixel 6 Pro so far, compared to phones I've used in the past and also very recently. Both the power button and the volume rocker are one on the same side. I much prefer two separate buttons for the volume up and down, but this is not really a deal breaker, it being a rocker. The confusing part is the fact that the power button is at the top and the volume rocker is at the bottom, which lands perfectly on my thumb. You're probably thinking, why is this an issue? Well, the size of the volume rocker itself feels like the size of some power buttons I've used recently on certain phones. And because it lands perfectly on my thumb, I'm always thinking that it's the power button. So when I double press to launch the camera, I'm actually changing the volume up and down. Very, very, very unusual feeling for me. So look, I much prefer having two separate volume buttons on the left, directly symmetrical to the right, and using this large volume rocker itself on the right as an actual power button. Just saying when it comes to the handling. And look, it's a small thing, but I hope personally, I eventually get used to it very soon. Last is the back of the Pixel 6 Pro, which without a doubt is the most distinctive characteristic of the device. Let's look at it for what it is for a moment without thinking that, hey, I'm just gonna slap a case on it and just use it. I'm using it without a case. I ain't got no cases yet, so just bear in mind. Let's take it down and really get into it. The model I have is the cloudy white color, and as nice as the color and the finish is, I don't like glossy finishes at all. I believe that other colors that come with the Pixel 6 Pro, which are the sort of sunny and the stormy black, are also glossy. So you will not find any matte finish anywhere. Case or no case, I'm not a fan, and I really wish Google at least had one matte finish in the range, because the phone is slippery AF, and although this white color really handles fingerprints much better because of the nature of it, it's just not as nice feeling as a matte finish phone. Last is the horizontal camera bump, which not only adds character to the Pixel 6 Pro, but also affects the handling when using it without a case. Let's break it down. It's a black strip with a silver metal housing at the top and bottom, as you can see. And I think it's unique, it's clean, and it does a good job hiding the triple cameras. What it does do is stop the phone from rocking in any way when laid flat and using it on a table, which is quite convenient when you're using it without a case. Another interesting thing is that because of how the camera bump is, when I'm actually holding the Pixel 6 Pro, my index finger, as you can see here, lands perfectly underneath the camera bump and almost acts like a support connection, which then kind of makes it easier to reach the power button when using my thumb without the phone feeling like it's about to slide away. Strange. Look, it's always recommended to use a case, and most people are going to use a case anyway, so that might not mean much to you, all these things I'm discovering when it comes to the handling, but this is something I noticed within a day. So I don't know if this was an intentional design by Google, but I just found it kind of interesting to me. Now, the usual IP68 water and dust resistance is here. You've got a USB-C port and you've got dual speakers. Now look, I'm not sure if I can actually demonstrate and show much on the speakers or showcase it at this time, but to me so far, let's be on the safe side, they do have a decent bassy feeling to them. They're nice and loud as well. But overall, these are my findings when it comes to the design, build, and handling of the Pixel 6 Pro so far. Next is the display, and it's safe to say Google went all out and held nothing back with the Pixel 6 Pro. It's a curved 6.7-inch OLED display with a quad high definition plus resolution at 3120 by 1440p, and it's using an LTPO adaptive refresh rate panel that goes from 10 Hz all the way up to 120 Hz. So smooth. This display is excellent, and at the time of this recording, this is probably amongst some of the best displays you're gonna get on a smartphone right now. As expected, the display is bright, sharp, vibrant, and the haptic feedback, which matters to me also dear so much, is good so far. And one additional important thing that's very good to me and very important is the typing experience has been spot on. Backed with the fact that Google are now using an optical in-display fingerprint reader for the biometric unlock, which my preferred location for the fingerprint unlock is at the front. So I'm definitely happy to see that when it comes to the Move this time round. Now the reader itself works good enough, especially with the haptic feedback, but as it's optical based, make sure you turn on the always on display to help you locate the fingerprint section without needing to wake up the display fully. Not much of a big deal here, but the display does seem to be running at QHD plus all the time, and there seems to be no way to actually drop it down to 1080p if you wanted to save on battery. What you can do is drop the 120 Hz down to 60 if you wanted to save battery that way. Not much else to say apart from so far, great job with the display, Google. Well done. Now for the specs and the performance, and the most interesting and exciting part is that the Pixel 6 Pro is powered by the Google Tensor with 5G support and the Titan M2 security co-processor, backed with 12 GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 128 GB of UFS 3.1 storage. Not sure about other regions, but in the UK, I believe the 256 gig is only available in a Stormy Black model for now. As Tensor is Google's first ever in-house designed processor, it could be a massive game changer for speed, image processing for pictures and videos, security, battery life, and the one we are most interested in finding out is long-term OS version support. They've said 5 years of security, but you want to know about OS version support. Hold that thought. And unless I stand corrected, which I will mention in my full review later, it should be based on a 5nm process and an 8-core design split into a 224 configuration. The two most powerful cores should be running at a max of 2.8 GHz, then followed by 2 cores running at 2.25 GHz and 4 efficient cores at 1.8 GHz with what should be the Mali G78 GPU. You do also have the latest Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2, and an ultra-wideband chip for accurate ranging and spatial orientation, and dual SIM support with 1 eSIM and 1 nano SIM. For now, this is all I can mention. And I don't usually do this, but when allowed, I might run separate video on benchmarks and gaming performance. Now for the camera hardware and specs. And if you thought Tensor was exciting, then I think this is the one we've all been waiting for, as finally we get all new camera hardware and features since as far back as the Google Pixel 2. Let's break it down. Let's start from the top, right? The Google Pixel 6 Pro is using a triple rear camera and a single selfie for the front. Let's start with the wide main camera, which is an all-new 50 megapixel sensor with an f1.85 aperture, a 1.2 micron pixel size, an 82-degree field of view, and a 1/1.31 image sensor. Very large. Then let's go over to the ultra wide. It's 12 megapixels, has an aperture of f2.2 and a 1.25 micron pixel size, 114-degree field of view with lens correction. Then the big one. It's a 48 megapixel telephoto camera with an f3.5 aperture, 0.8 micron pixel size, and then it gives you an optical zoom of ×4 and an up to 20x digital zoom with super res zoom. And the last one is the new selfie camera, which is 11.1 megapixels, and it does have an aperture of f2.2 and a 1.22 micron pixel size and a 94-degree field of view. There is also a laser-assisted autofocus sensor and also both OIS on the wide and the telephoto backed with electronic image stabilization EIS as well. Woo! It's a lot of camera stuff right there. And look, as I can't show you any new features, photos and video samples, just be ready for a full camera comparison very soon, because that's how we throw down a lover of tech. You're definitely gonna see that. But what I can say is that the main camera supports up to 4K 60 frames a second. All three rear cameras can do 4K 30 frames a second. The selfie camera can do 4K 30 and 1080p 60. But stick around for it, man. Subscribe, like, all of that stuff. More to come soon. Now for the battery and charging experience, and the Google Pixel 6 Pro is packing it for sure. It's rocking a 5003 mAh battery and now supports 30 watt wire charging, up from 18 watts from before. Wireless charging up to 23 watts if you use the new Pixel Stand Generation 2, and reverse wireless charging with battery share. All this has me excited, but like you saw in my unboxing video, there is no charger in the box. And yes, I get that is the trend now, but I really got excited when I heard 30 watt charging, and it's something I really want to try out, but it looks like you need the official charger from Google, because I have power delivery chargers that have 30 watts and above, and I'm not getting the claimed 1% to 50% charge in 30 minutes. Overall, so far in my short space of time, the battery life experience has been very good, but look, the final verdict will come in the full experience review, so stick around for that. To no one's surprise, the Google Pixel 6 Pro is running the latest version of Android, which is Android 12, running the full Pixel experience UI and all the benefits that come with it. Again, for this video at the moment, I can only show you the home screen and pretty much nothing else. And as much as I don't usually cover software videos on this channel, for this time round, I might just drop an Android 12 review featuring the new Pixel 6 Pro when allowed. Cool. Now wrapping this longer than usual impressions video of the Pixel 6 Pro. In the UK, the Pixel 6 Pro will be priced starting at £849 for this 128GB model. Let's put that in perspective. That's £300 below the S21 Ultra, £100 below the S21 Plus, £200 below iPhone 13 Pro Max, and £100 below the iPhone 13 Pro, which all come with 128GB. Now look, without knowing everything about how the Pixel 6 Pro performs until the final review, have that in mind in regards to how much value Google are bringing here. And I'm definitely excited to see the full outcome of the Pixel 6 Pro, not just for the moment of us testing right now, but just for what it represents in the long term. Now Google are going in-house with Tensor. We're going to be testing and using a live out of this Pixel 6 Pro. Be sure to subscribe, turn the notifications, let me know in the comment section below what you want to see covered on the Pixel 6 Pro, and definitely I'll try my best to get onto it. That's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.